Today, I want to highlight the top 7 security concerns that property managers need to be aware of. These represent the critical risk areas that can impact the safety and security of the properties they oversee. Understanding these key priorities helps in creating effective strategies to protect both the property and its residents. Let's dive into these 7 critical areas to see how they shape the overall security landscape for property management. Property managers today are facing a rising threat landscape where both physical and digital risks are increasing simultaneously. This dual challenge makes security more complex and urgent than ever. For instance, 41% of property managers have reported more attempts of unauthorized entry, highlighting a clear rise in physical security breaches. On top of that, 33% have noticed an increase in package or mail theft, which not only affects residents directly, but also damages trust in property safety. Additionally, 27% have encountered security issues related to connected systems, showing how integrated technology can also introduce vulnerabilities. Overall, property security incidents are becoming more frequent, more varied, and increasingly difficult to ignore. These trends underscore the need for property managers to stay vigilant and proactive in addressing these top security concerns. One of the biggest concerns for property managers is unauthorized access and trespassing. When doors, gates, parking areas, or common spaces are easy to enter, unauthorized individuals can move through the property without being noticed. This significantly increases the risk of theft, vandalism, and safety incidents for residents. It also raises liability issues for management. Even small lapses in entry security can create major vulnerabilities, making it a critical area to address. This is one of the top security concerns that property managers need to prioritize. Here are the top 7 security concerns that property managers often face, starting with lost or copied keys, which can easily fall into the wrong hands. Tailgating through secure entries is another significant issue, where unauthorized people follow authorized personnel into restricted areas. Shared PINs and access codes also pose a risk, as they can be distributed beyond the intended users, reducing accountability. Delayed credential deactivation means former tenants or employees might retain access longer than they should. These vulnerabilities highlight why managing access control effectively is crucial for maintaining security in any property. Addressing these concerns helps protect both the property and its occupants from potential threats. When we look at package theft and mail theft, the combination of high volume and low oversight creates a perfect storm for easy losses. Packages often get left in open, unsecured areas, making them easy targets. This isn't just about lost items, it's a common risk that can quickly damage resident trust. When tenants feel their deliveries aren't safe, complaints escalate, and the property's reputation takes a hit. Unsecured delivery zones open the door every day to theft, tenant dissatisfaction, and potential liability issues. This is one of the top concerns that property managers face regularly, ranking as the second most pressing security issue on our list. Addressing this risk proactively is essential to maintaining a secure and trusted community. Now let's focus on key theft prevention strategies that can make a real difference. First, securing package rooms, mail areas, and delivery access points is crucial. By controlling these spaces, we cut down on easy opportunities for theft. Next, continuous monitoring of lobbies, loading zones, and pickup locations helps catch suspicious activity early. It's also essential to notify tenants immediately when their deliveries arrive, reducing unattended packages that attract thieves. Finally, documenting incidents quickly allows us to identify repeat patterns or security gaps, so we can address them proactively. These 4 straightforward operational controls work together to reduce everyday losses and, most importantly, protect tenant trust. One of the major security concerns is surveillance and monitoring gaps. These blind spots often leave critical areas like hallways, entries, and parking lots exposed to potential threats. When zones go unwatched, it slows down response times and makes it more difficult to verify incidents effectively. It's important to remember that camera coverage only provides real safety if the cameras are strategically placed, properly maintained, and continuously monitored. Without these elements in place, the security system won't function as intended. This highlights the need for a comprehensive approach to surveillance and property management. When we think about key security concerns for property managers, a few critical areas come to mind. First, the main entrances are crucial points of control, since they're the primary access for tenants and visitors. Securing these entrances helps prevent unauthorized access. Next, parking lots and garages need careful monitoring because they're common spots for theft or vandalism. Mailrooms and package areas are also important to secure, especially with the rise in package theft. Lobbies and elevators should have good visibility and surveillance, as these areas often serve as transitional spaces where security might be more relaxed. Service doors and loading docks are frequent targets for unauthorized entry, so they require strict access controls. Finally, camera placement plays a vital role in covering all these areas effectively, ensuring every vulnerable spot is monitored. Keeping these 7 points in mind helps property managers create a comprehensive security strategy. One of the biggest security concerns for property managers is inadequate emergency response protocols. Having a written plan alone isn't sufficient if people can't act quickly and confidently when it matters most. When alarms go off, the real danger isn't just the event itself, but the confusion that often follows. Many properties fall short because they lack clearly defined roles, communication channels, and step-by-step response procedures for incidents like fires, medical emergencies, or lockdowns. Without regular drills and continuously updated protocols, staff members waste valuable time trying to coordinate rather than taking immediate action. This gap can cost critical minutes and put everyone's safety at risk. When it comes to building emergency readiness, there are several crucial steps to ensure safety and efficiency. First, conducting a thorough assessment helps us identify potential risks and vulnerabilities within the property. Mapping high-risk areas allows us to focus resources where they're needed most. It's also essential to verify that alarm systems and exit routes are well covered and fully functional, so everyone can evacuate safely if needed. We can't overlook after-hours vulnerabilities either, as these times often present increased risks. Training is a key component. Running regular evacuation drills prepares everyone to respond calmly and effectively during an emergency. Assigning clear response roles ensures each team member knows their responsibilities, and training frontline staff on how to escalate issues quickly can prevent situations from worsening. Documentation is equally important. Maintaining up-to-date contact lists, publishing detailed emergency procedures, and logging incidents along with lessons learned help us keep improving our safety protocols. These top-7 security concerns are essential focus areas for property managers aiming to protect both people and assets. One of the biggest concerns property managers face is inadequate screening of tenants and visitors. When verification processes are weak at move-in or check-in, it creates opportunities for unauthorized guests, fraudulent tenants, and unvetted vendors to gain access to the property. This not only compromises security, but increases the risk of fraud and other issues. Identity gaps occur when tenant verification is incomplete, which leaves the property vulnerable to fraudulent activity. Similarly, guest blind spots happen when visitors are not properly logged, reducing accountability and making it harder to track who is on site at any given time. Vendor exposure is another critical risk, because unchecked contractors or service providers may bypass normal security controls, potentially causing harm or disruption. Addressing these screening weaknesses is crucial to maintaining a safe and secure property environment. Here, we're looking at the contrast between the screening process before and after implementing best practices. On the left, the before side highlights some critical gaps. ID checks were inconsistent, which means there wasn't a reliable way to verify who was coming through. Applications often depended on self-reported data, making it easier for inaccurate or incomplete information to slip through. Guest access was completely untracked, creating potential security risks. Plus, there was no follow-up screening after move-in or hiring, so changes in risk level wouldn't be caught. Now shifting to the after side, you can see how these issues are addressed. The implementation of standardized ID and document verification makes the initial screening much more reliable and uniform. Background, credit, and reference checks add multiple layers of validation to better assess risk. Pre-approved visitors are logged systematically, ensuring any access is tracked and accounted for. Finally, scheduled rescreening for higher-risk roles helps maintain ongoing security by catching any new concerns over time. This comparison really underscores why adopting these screening best practices is essential for property managers to safeguard their communities effectively. When we talk about cyber threats to building systems, it's important to recognize that these systems have become new attack surfaces. Devices like smart locks, cameras, HVAC controls, and intercom platforms might seem convenient, but if they're not properly secured, they can serve as entry points for cyber criminals. A cyber incident in this context doesn't just affect data. It can disrupt physical access, monitoring capabilities, tenant safety, and the daily operations of the entire property. That's why protecting the network is crucial. By securing the network, you effectively protect the building itself. Understanding these risks is essential for property managers who face these top 7 security concerns in maintaining safe, functional environments. When we talk about cybersecurity priorities for managing building systems, the focus has to be on protecting these systems from the ground up. This means first locking down access to prevent unauthorized entry, then hardening the networks to withstand attacks, and finally being ready to respond quickly if something does happen. Incident response is a critical part of this plan, and having breach playbooks in place helps ensure we act swiftly and effectively during a security incident. It's also important to establish clear vendor escalation paths so that any issues with third-party suppliers can be addressed promptly. Looking specifically at network security, segmenting building systems is essential. By separating different parts of the system, we limit the potential impact of a breach. Continuous patching is equally vital to keep security vulnerabilities from being exploited over time. Access controls should be robust. Using multi-factor authentication, especially for administrative portals, adds an extra layer of security. Implementing role-based permissions ensures that users only have access to the functions they need, minimizing risk. Overall, these are some of the top cybersecurity concerns that property managers need to prioritize to safeguard their buildings effectively. One of the top concerns we see frequently is insufficient staff training. Even if you have strong security systems in place, they won't be effective if your team isn't properly trained. Staff need to be able to recognize potential security issues, know the correct protocols to follow, and respond confidently in any situation. Without this training, even the best technology can fall short, which is why investing in comprehensive staff education is crucial for maintaining a secure environment. Now, let's talk about building a strong security culture. This is essential because security isn't just about technology or procedures, it's about people and mindset. Awareness is the first step. Everyone involved should understand the potential risks and the importance of security in their daily tasks. That leads us to training, which equips team members with the knowledge and skills they need to handle security issues effectively. Accountability plays a crucial role. Everyone must take responsibility for maintaining security standards. Without accountability, policies can easily be overlooked or ignored. Feedback is also key. It allows us to learn from experiences, identify weaknesses, and adjust our strategies as needed. Finally, continuous improvement ensures that our security measures evolve to meet new challenges. All of these elements together help address the top security concerns faced by property managers, making sure we protect assets, people, and information effectively. Now, let's walk through the implementation timeline for addressing security concerns effectively. We start with the audit phase, where we thoroughly assess the current risks, existing controls, and any security gaps on the property. This step is crucial, as it gives us a clear picture of where we stand and what needs immediate attention. Next is the plan phase. Here we prioritize the necessary fixes based on the audit findings, assign specific owners to take responsibility, and set a realistic rollout schedule. This phase ensures that we have a structured approach and everyone knows their role. Following that, we move into the deploy phase. This is where we put the plan into action, implementing new technology, updating procedures, and conducting staff training. The sequence and coordination here are key to making sure everything integrates smoothly. Finally, we enter the monitor phase. Security isn't a one-time fix. It requires ongoing efforts. We continuously track incidents, review security performance, and refine our controls to adapt to any new threats or challenges. Together, these 4 phases form a comprehensive cycle that helps property managers tackle their top security concerns systematically and effectively. When it comes to budget and resource allocation and security, spending typically focuses on 3 main areas: access control, cyber protection, and monitoring. Our allocation model is balanced across 7 key risk areas, ensuring that funding is directed where it can have the most impact. Looking at the breakdown, the largest portions go to staff training at 19% and addressing cyber threats to building systems at 18%, which highlights the importance of prevention and system resilience. Unauthorized access and trespassing account for 14%, while tenant and visitor screening take up 13%. Package and mail theft, surveillance and monitoring gaps, and emergency response protocols each receive around 12%. This distribution reflects a strategic approach that supports both proactive measures and response capabilities, ensuring a comprehensive security posture for property managers. Overall, this typical portfolio mix helps balance the various challenges effectively within the security budget. When we look at the regulatory and compliance landscape, there are several critical areas property managers need to focus on. First, the ADA and life safety standards ensure that accessible egress routes, alarms, and emergency procedures function effectively for every occupant, no matter their ability. It's essential that these safety measures are inclusive and reliable in emergencies. Next, OSHA regulations play a key role in shaping on-site safety operations. This includes thorough staff training, clear hazard communication, and well-prepared incident response plans. Keeping staff informed and ready can prevent accidents and ensure a safer environment for everyone. Finally, fair housing laws and privacy considerations require that screening, surveillance, and access policies are applied consistently and lawfully. Security policies must balance operational needs with compliance requirements, maintaining fairness and respect for residents' rights. Together, these regulations create a framework that property managers must navigate carefully to ensure both safety and legal compliance. Understanding these top security concerns is crucial for effective property management. When it comes to security, small mistakes can quickly add up and create major vulnerabilities across your properties. One of the biggest pitfalls is relying on just one layer of security. It's important to have multiple safeguards in place to ensure comprehensive protection. Another common issue is leaving access credentials active even after residents move out, which can leave your property open to unauthorized entry. Also, placing cameras without actively monitoring them limits their effectiveness. Having the right technology in place isn't enough if no one is watching. It's easy to underestimate package theft and write it off as a minor annoyance, but this can erode resident trust and satisfaction if not addressed properly. Finally, never skip regular drills, background screenings, and proper staff training. These proactive steps play a crucial role in maintaining a secure environment and preparing your team to handle potential incidents effectively. Avoiding these mistakes can significantly strengthen your overall property security. When we talk about measuring security effectiveness, there are a few key metrics we need to focus on. First, response time to incidents is critical. How quickly are we able to react when an issue arises? We compare this against our targets to see where we stand. Next, false alarm rate is another important factor. If alarms go off too often without cause, it can lead to complacency or wasted resources. So tracking monthly trends helps us manage this. Another major point is camera and access uptime. Continuous monitoring only matters if these systems are actually available and functioning properly. So we track both coverage and downtime closely. Ultimately, the goal is to track real results, not just assumptions, using operational benchmarks and ensuring 24/7 system reliability. These measures address some of the top security concerns that property managers face every day. Here, we focus on 4 key solution areas that are essential for strengthening modern property security programs. First, access control, which includes smart locks, mobile credentials, and visitor management platforms. These tools help manage and restrict who can enter your property, enhancing overall safety. Next is surveillance, featuring cloud video systems, remote monitoring, and AI motion analytics, all designed to provide real-time insights and proactive threat detection. Cyber protection is another critical area, incorporating measures like network segmentation, multi-factor authentication for admin access, and endpoint detection tools to safeguard digital assets. Finally, effective staff training through online learning modules, incident response drills, and phishing simulations ensures your team is prepared to respond swiftly and effectively to security incidents. Together, these 4 categories address the top 7 security concerns property managers face today. Let's focus on the top priorities for property managers when it comes to security. First, stopping unauthorized access before any incidents occur is crucial. This proactive approach helps prevent problems rather than just reacting to them. Next, it's important to have systems in place that quickly identify and close any surveillance or response gaps. Being able to respond swiftly can make all the difference in minimizing potential damage. Finally, protecting not just the physical systems but also the staff, tenants, and the overall trust they place in you is essential. Security is about more than just technology. It's about safeguarding the people and relationships that make your property successful. These 3 key points are the foundation for addressing the top security concerns effectively. Now let's talk about the next steps you should take to enhance security for your property. First, it's crucial to audit every entry point. This means thoroughly checking all possible ways someone could enter the property to identify any access gaps, blind spots, or high-risk zones that may have been overlooked. Once you've identified these vulnerabilities, the next step is to prioritize the top risks. Focus your budget and resources on addressing the threats most likely to affect your residents, ensuring you tackle the most critical issues first. After prioritizing risks, it's time to upgrade your critical controls. Strengthen the systems that control access, monitoring, screening, and response to create multiple layers of security. This helps in better preventing and responding to any potential threats. Finally, ongoing training and regular reviews are key. Reinforce your procedures, regularly test your security plans, and closely track performance to ensure everything works as intended and evolves with emerging risks. By following these steps, you'll be well positioned to create a safer, more secure environment for everyone in your property.